god, what the fuck is happening?
Hey everybody, and welcome to my video on Mundo, one of the most powerful champions in the game that nobody is playing right now. Much like you guys, I saw Mundo at an extremely high win rate and I went to play him, and I did really bad. So it's taken me a while to do this video because I thought to myself, I can't really just do a video on the items and runes like I would for other champions. That wouldn't really be helping you guys to really learn why Mundo is doing so good right now. There are a few item changes and very large gameplay changes. People started to play Mundo a bit differently. Better, you might say, but a little bit differently. And those will be discussed here. So the most important thing is, instead of just being a late game champion, Mundo needs to use his E and his Q to actually try to push the laning phase and poke his opponent down and actually try to get in a win. Whereas in the past, his balance was such that he could try to outscale basically everyone and get into late game and just be that super Mundo tank. Right now, his late game isn't the best, but he does have a really poke heavy early to mid game that allows him to actually get some wins. Now, because of that, you have to change around some of your runes and your items to play more for the early game. And once you do, you're going to start noticing that you're going to do a lot better, and that's something important that you guys need to start changing in your playstyle. And Mundo is not thinking towards the late game, but start thinking, let's try to win the laning phase and let's try to win in the mid game. So to go with that, let's go over his runes right now. There's Grasp Undying, which is a very typical tank rune or lane bully rune. Grasp Undying is quite good early for poking and trading, and it gives max HP, so it scales pretty decently. Now, for this rune set, I just want to say, okay, the reason I'm laughing is because when I looked at his runes, I expected Demolish to basically be 100% pick rate. And it wasn't. It wasn't. No, for those of you who are thinking, wait, what? Yeah, that means people were picking Font of Life and Shield Bash on Mundo. For those of you who might be wondering why that's so stupid, when you're solo laning in top, you're not using Font of Life, and Mundo can't activate Shield Bash. So I'm really curious what you people picking those two runes are doing. This is just, okay, this is another thing where I say, a lot of you guys need to stop trying to improvise your own runes and just listen to what other people are doing. Now for your second rune option, you're gonna go Second Wind. Not actually conditioning. This is one of those changes that a lot of people need to make. Second Wind has always been kind of good on Mundo, but I think that a lot of people were going conditioning because they were trying to scale into the late game, and that's not really, you can't really be so concerned about the late game on Mundo. Second Wind is an extremely good laning phase rune, and particularly on tanks is a very good laning phase rune. It's good on Mundo. It's good for pushing laning phase wins. For the last rune, you're gonna go Overgrowth, not Unflinching. Now, Unflinching is good, but Unflinching is like the bronze medal, whereas Overgrowth is like the gold medal. There's no reason to go with the bronze medal when you got the gold medal. Both of them are fine, but Unflinching is just better. Remember, with your passive, you can ignore 1 CC anyway, so getting tenacity isn't a priority for Mundo, whereas having a lot of HPs, yeah, that's probably a priority. For your secondary runes, you're gonna go Inspiration and you're gonna go Magical Footwear and Approach Velocity. Both of these filled the same goal. Magical Footwear because it allows you to get to your Mythic, and we'll go into that in a second. Approach Velocity because it once again allows you to move faster. And once again, with your Mythic, you're gonna notice it has really good synergy. Now, if you hit a cleaver, you can run faster at them. Mundo doesn't really have much mobility at all. He just has a slight movement speed boost on his ultimate. So getting more mobility is key to actually getting in range to run people down. For your runes here, Mundo has no AD or AP ratios, so really just go attack speed and go double armor or double magic resist. Some people are trying to go with that defense health rune. In my opinion, and through the games I've played, trying to play more for the mid to late game on Mundo can not be beneficial, and trying to win the laning phase harder and harder can be beneficial. In particular, not having that second armor or that second MR rune can be the difference between your opponent living with 50 HP or not, because if you die faster because you don't have armor, that's bad. Health doesn't mitigate damage, so throughout the course of a laning phase, when you have potions, Second Wind, Doran's Shield, Mundo's passive, all this healing, armor that helps slow down the amount of damage you're taking is going to be better than health, which is just health. 15 health is 15 health, but 6 armor, you're taking less damage on every hit over and over and over and over and over. So let's go into his items, and this will help clarify to a few people maybe why he got so good and why he's doing so good. It's really, in my opinion, Frost Dragon Gauntlet. Frostfire Gauntlet got that change in the preseason where instead of being 12 to 30 damage scaling on the aura, it now gets that on hit every 4 seconds. It lost 18 damage a second potentially at level 18, but it gained 100 damage every 4 seconds. Now you don't need to stay in range to keep proccing that every 4 seconds. You only need to be in range every 4 seconds, and it does hit right at the beginning of the trade, of the hit. You instantly just bash someone with the damage, okay? It helps you clear waves a little bit faster. It gives you more of your damage up front, and it generally is a pretty good thing right now. Now this also works with approach velocity, which I discussed earlier. When you slow someone with Iceborne Gauntlet, I always call it Iceborne Gauntlet, don't I? When you slow someone with Frostfire Gauntlet, approach velocity also allows you to run up to them with 15% more movement speed, which again helps Mundo stay in range. The second option you can do for your mythic is Sunfire, which I found, despite it being buffed and despite it doing really good on other champions, every time I go Sunfire I think to myself, man, I really wish I was going Frostfire right now. Sunfire's fine, but I would call it the silver medal and Frostfire the gold medal. I don't have issues with it. It's just that often when I go Sunfire, my thoughts are, man, I wish I'd gone Frostfire. I wish I had that slow aura. I wish I had more of my damage up front rather than waiting for it. Your 2 and 3 build are going to be Omen and Spirit Visage. Yeah, so you're gonna go Omen if you're fighting physical damage, you're gonna go Spirit Visage if you're fighting magical damage. You're probably gonna want Frostfire, Omen, Spirit Visage. Those are gonna be your 1, 2, 3. So there's typically magic damage and physical damage on the opposing team. Omen is really good at shutting down crit damage and physical damage too. Spirit Visage gives you that little bit of MR you need, and the healing is really, really good on Mundo. From there, you're probably gonna want, the items you go with is you have Anathema's Chains, you have Force of Nature, you have Warmogs, you have Gargoyle Stoneplate, and you have Thornmail. Now, the thing about Thornmail that a lot of people don't realize is Thornmail has no actual advantage over Bramblevest on Mundo. He can't proc the 60% healing debuff. Now, you can if you have Everfrost, the mage item, or if you hit someone with a blast cone. So yeah, no, there's no actual way to proc the 60% healing debuff. So you can sit on Bramblevest the majority of the game and you'll be fine. It's very little reason. You're paying 1900 gold for some armor and HP, and it's not a bad thing, but for the champions who can actually use Thornmail, Thornmail becomes an extremely powerful item. For Mundo, it's just Thornmail. Your 1, 2, 3, once again, Frostfire, Omen, Spirit Visage. From there, you've got Anathemas, Force of Nature, Warmogs, Gargoyle, and Thornmail. Thornmail you'll probably want at some point, so you have a good choice on these items. I've often gone with Anathema's Chains. If you're fighting multiple magic damage, Force of Nature, particularly on Mundo, just shuts them down. The movement speed and the damage reduction from Force of Nature makes mages really sad against a champion who can heal a lot like Mundo. I promise you, if they go multiple mages and you're playing Mundo, you should be sitting there just going, yes, 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 yes. Warmogs is okay, but I find it really overpriced this season, particularly compared to Anathema's Chains. It has a little bit more health, some health regen, less ability haste, 500 gold more, the out of combat healing. Now, the out of combat healing is great and all, but often just being able to isolate, for example, an AD carry and build a really cheap item that can make you take 30% reduced damage from a snowballing ash or something like that, that can be really, really impactful. Now, the weakest option I've found is Gargoyle Stoneplate, which sounds bad. It's fine, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not doing it right, but often when I go Gargoyle Stoneplate, my thoughts aren't, yay, Gargoyle Stoneplate, my thoughts are, yeah, it's alright, Gargoyle Stoneplate. Now, it can be useful if, because Mundo's ultimate gives you missing HP as health when you activate his ultimate, effectively giving you a heal that ignores healing debuffs, you can wait till you're low HP, activate Gargoyle, then ult, and then you can use the Gargoyle to shield your low health while you're healing from your ultimate, so you can, you know, guarantee that you can get off really juicy ultimates. But other than that, yeah, I often find that just building one of these items is better. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, I am not a Mundo fanatic. I have been playing him for a week now, I've probably got 100 games of him in, so I think I at least know a little bit what I'm talking about at this point. And that would be Mundo, and that would be his runes, and that would be his items, and that was his playstyle differences. He's doing extremely good right now. He's very powerful, in my opinion. Will he get nerfed? I think he might get a readjustment or tone down a little bit. I'm not sure, but they're not going to patch for a bit, so you guys will have a week. Now, as I close out this video, I just want to inform everybody that the purpose of these videos isn't to give you a total guide. I'm not teaching you guys how to play a champion from scratch, but I'm kind of helping you guys get familiar with a champion that if you haven't played him a lot, maybe you've played him a little, maybe you've wanted to play him, this is kind of like an introductory guide. And really, I would suggest that if you want to play a champion, to just go play them. Don't go read a 9-page guide on a champion. Failure is the best teacher. You can just get in there and you can just start playing a champion to learn. I did that on Mundo and I did terrible for like 10 games, and still it started to kind of click with me. The laning phase poke, the W baiting, the late game and all that stuff, it started to really click with me, and that's what I would really recommend you just do. Just go out there, just build the right items, build the right runes, try to get the best playstyle, and just do your best. With that said, I would recommend everybody goes to my Patreon. The link is in the description, and I would join my Patreon for more videos like this. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for I appreciate everybody. Everybody make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to come back. I'll continue to do more videos like these because I actually find these fun in a way to actually not bring like a super positive aspect to League, but you know, kind of tell you guys how to have more fun in the game and just how to play some champions you might not know how to learn, and just interesting new things to do rather than, well, what a lot of other content creators are doing right now, which is just being extremely negative and bad. But you know, that's sad. So thank you all for watching. Thank you everybody. Have a great day.